Hi artists, for this main project we are going to be looking at rock art created by the Aboriginal artists found in Australia. So now I did this drawing that was inspired by those rock paintings, which are also called pictographs. And if you look at those photos that I'm showing, there are a lot of handprints and the hands are sprayed over the top with colored paint, and your hand ends up being the stencil. So that's where I got the inspiration for this one right here. And we're gonna apply our hands to our paper, and we're gonna use that as our stencil for this project. So what we're going to do, you're going to need a piece of paper, your pencil, a pen, and also some cold tea or coffee. So you're going to have to ask your parents for that one in a little bit. All right, so we're going to get started. Grab your pencil and grab your hand also. We're going to put our hand right on our piece of paper, and you can put it any way you want on your sheet of paper, and we're going to put 3 hands down, so they're all going to be in different directions. And if you want to do your hand and maybe you have a sibling, you want to get your sibling's hand, we're going to trace around it. So I'm going to put my hand right here, and I'm going to go ahead, and I want you guys to use your pencil, so you're going to be really careful. I'm using my marker so you can see it a little better. And we're going to just trace around every finger. Take your time. And we're going to go down, in between, up and around. Don't worry, if you move a little bit, you'll be using a pencil so you can easily erase any little shaky areas. And if you want to do the rest of your hand here, you could do that, or you could just stop with the hand. So you could do just the hand, or you could add the wrist and a little bit of your arm. That's up to you. Add a little bit of my wrist in there. So now we can see we have a hand. Looks like it's waving to you. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go a different direction. So I'm actually going to rotate my paper so it's a little bit more easy for me to reach this. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my other hand a little bit layered over top. So let's see, can you guys see that? So get that a little closer. So here I'm putting my hand, I'm going to layer it a little bit on top of the other hand. So again, I'm just going to be really careful, outline each finger, and now here, where it overlaps, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skip over my lines that I put down before. So I'm not going to go right over straight through. When my pen runs into the line, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to jump over, go in between, and I'm going to go in between over here, and I'm going to stop. So when I lift my hand up, you'll see what I mean by stopping. I'm not running through, I'm not doing the fingertip. I'm just going to do what's in between that hand there for this one. So let's lift off, and then you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So now it looks like this hand is underneath that one. So what I did is when my finger was there, instead of going straight through into this finger, I stopped, skipped over this finger, because imagine if someone's hand's here, you're not going to draw right over their finger. You're going to stop here, skip over, and then finish that out over there. So we have one full hand, we have one hand that looks like it's underneath, tucked behind, and now I'm going to go ahead and rotate this upside down. And what's kind of cool about this, any way you rotate it, it's going to look different. Now I'm going to do this one, and I am going to go right over the top of this hand. So let's go ahead, and you're going to see how that's going to look. So I'm going right over the top of that one. And I want you guys to take your time on this. So you're going to pause the video so you can get your hand down a lot better than mine. There we go. So now you can see now it's over the top of each other, and that's all right. So now we have one that was up front, this one's behind, and now this one's overlapping, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're gonna put in some patterns. So you see there's some pictures of some Aboriginal artwork showing on your screen. Now we're gonna use all those interesting patterns. So we have dots, we have swirls, and we have lots of circular shapes. So we're gonna pick one hand to do a lot of patterns inside of. The other hand is going to be blank, and then the third hand, you can decide what you want to do with it. Either leave it blank, add a little bit of patterns, add a lot of patterns. That's up to you. So the blank hand I'm going to use is this center one right here. So that's going to stay blank. This one down here, I'm going to have lots of patterns. So I'm going to get started on that. And then for this one, we'll see. I haven't decided yet. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead, and there's lots of outlining of circles. So I'm going to start off with a circle right here on the hand. So right there, I'm going to have kind of a circular shape, and I'm going to do a circle inside of a circle inside of a circle, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply patterns inside each circle. So I'm going to go ahead and add more circles inside of the outer ring. Now I want you guys to look at those photos that are showing up on your screen and pick out some patterns, and make sure you try out some patterns that maybe even aren't on there. So if you're thinking the circle patterns make you think of pebbles or ripples in the water or anything, and then that can lead you to a different pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep on filling in with these circles. Just make sure is that you take your time with each drawing and each hand. So that's going to be one of my patterns. Now my next pattern is going to be a little different. I'm going to do some of these triangle shapes, because if you notice, some of those pictographs or the rock drawings that we're looking at, they have a lot of geometric shapes to them, and they're inside of the animal shape. So I'm going to do triangle, and then I'm going to do lines on either side of the triangle. Doesn't that look kind of cool? So now for the center, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to divide that up into 3 sections, and we'll leave it like that. So we got circles, triangles, and then a stripe in the center, and we're just going to work our way out. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of create some divisions on this hand. So I'm just kind of putting in some random lines, sectioning out the hand, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do each section with a different pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and make this one just stripes. I'm going to have this one is going to be diagonal stripes. And this one I'm going to go ahead and fill in with circles. And let's have this one also is going to be circles, and it's meeting up to this hand right here, the thumb. I'm going to continue those circles down. And I'm just going to bring these circles over. So this whole section here is going to have circles. And some can be big, some can be small. I'm going to have these ones kind of tucked behind the thumb of this hand here. So now we're seeing this is going to be a darker section. So now it's starting to look like that's underneath this hand. And for here, I'm going to do really skinny, small, little stripe shapes that have a little wiggle to them. And in this area here, let's do some more triangle shapes. Maybe even a little zigzag. I'm doing a triangle with lines around the triangle. And so this whole hand is going to have lots of pattern, and you're going to keep on filling in each section of that hand. This one's going to stay blank, and then this one is going to be kind of that fun, a little bit crazy one where you can kind of change it up. Now because there is that overlap, it looks kind of cool, like those hands are kind of see-through. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enhance that even more, and I'm going to do a line inside along this edge of this hand here, but it's going through the fingers. going to do another line going through. I'm going to continue those there. And I'm just going to do a few lines that kind of mimic sort of like that, the muscles inside the hand. Just a few lines. That's what I'm deciding I'm going to do on this one, but you can decide what you want to do on that third hand right here.